So welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you all here. Such a beautiful, such a beautiful meeting. The message here is so simple. Everything is it already. So it doesn't matter what it is. A thought could arise, that would be this. A reaction to that thought, also this. Loving this message can arise. Being frustrated can arise. And that would be this arising as frustration, as not getting it, as the desire for more is this too. So the freedom is that there's nobody to have any freedom. Already. So already there's nothing to achieve. And yet seeking appears to happen. So if right now there's a thought appearing, that's just this. If there's resonance, something resonates with this empty, I can't think of a good word. So right now the word is emptiness. If something there resonates with the emptiness, but everything can't be explained. There's nothing separate to explain it to. That one's imagined, the one that wants to know. It's this imagining, it's looking for itself. So everything is it already may resonate, even if you don't know why. All is this already. Even the stuff we don't like, frustration, depression, anger, all of it. It's all this. And this can't be known. I'd like to open this up. This is an open meeting. Everybody's invited to participate. So if you have a comment, question, a sharing, anything, feel free to unmute and jump in.
Well, I'll jump in.
Hi, Janet. Welcome.
Hi. So this non-recognition is it too. Is that what you're saying? Right? Non-recognition.
Exactly.
The recognition of non-recognition, which maybe it emotes into frustration or something, but this recognition of non-recognition is still it. It's still just this appearing as that. Is that
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it doesn't feel, if it really feels like, no, I'm really separate. That's this feeling really separate.
Mm-hmm. And thoughts thoughts are this too, right? This thoughts are, you know, I had that. Yeah, I think I thought at some point that thoughts, you know, thoughts and feeling, like thoughts and experience were different, and to move the thoughts away from the experience so I could really experience, because the thoughts were in the way telling the story. And then I realized that, well, then the thoughts have to be their own thing too. And I don't know, it felt almost like a gift. So thoughts are this too. And
That's why you can't get anywhere with them. His thoughts are this too.
yeah, just very, everything is just this then, everything. And the non-recognition, the frustration of not
Yes.
feeling non-recognition is it too.
I've had enough of this bullshit, is it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm too new to this group to totally expose myself that honestly, but yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking those words out of my mouth. I appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, there's Ere is here with Rigo, and Sander and I was talking to Sander today on Messenger, Ere, and I was talking about something you posted about this, and we both liked it, but we said, I like, you said unconditionally ruthless.
Yeah. It's everything. There is no escape. Even the extreme frustration or anger is this too. But there seems to be a knower who seems to know that no, it shouldn't be this way. There shouldn't be anger or frustration, but there is no escape. There is no one doing the anger or frustration. It's just what's arising as the thoughts, or another thought that thoughts are not good or shouldn't be there is also just what's arising. Is this too? Thoughts or no thoughts, everything is this. Yeah, it's unconditionally, uncompromisingly this already. And there is absolutely no knowing when there is no separation how things should be. Like from here, there is nothing wrong with the frustration or depression or anger or sadness, whatever is arising, or right either. It's empty. Just what's happening, apparently. Yeah, and this message can be very ruthless, very hopeless, helpless, because it doesn't see the seeker. It doesn't see someone who needs help, who could, I don't know, die or disappear, because there isn't already anyone. There is no process or time that leads to this, what is already. But when there is this sense of separateness, it feels like it's moving through time and space, and there is process, and something needs to happen for this to be it. That nothing will ever happen. It is already. It's done. And there seems to be that there is doing happening. That I'm doing something. That no one ever had done anything. It's just this overlay of someone that is claiming, I did it. These are my thoughts. These are my emotions, feelings. They are owned and claimed, but they are no one's. Nothing happens with you, never, or because of you. And at the end, nothing happens, and nothing needs to be happen. When this neediness or wanting something to happen evaporates or falls away or disappears by itself for no reason, then it's just this. Whatever is arising is enough, is this, for no one. So the one who is seeking something or looking something, wanting something, when this one is no more. But the funny thing is that it isn't already, but it plays out so perfectly, so convincing, this illusion. And it can't be seen, and it can't be known. But the knower always wants to know, or tries to understand, or tries to understand, to get closer to this. But it can't be known. For that, there have to be separation, and that's the illusion. So you will never get this, and you will never see this, or you never understand this. It's impossible. And that's the freedom for no one. Cheers.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is ruthless because it doesn't give anything. And the frustration can arise and get overwhelming because the seeker itself apparently is always looking something. But what's shared here is nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to get.
Yeah, but you could also say, Eri, it's in a way it's ruthless compassion because nothing works. So you're free to try everything till at least here it was seen, oh, nothing works. You know, it was so beautiful that was like, wow.
Yeah, and no one's doing it. It's happening innocently by itself. There is no one seeking or trying to get this or looking for freedom or whatever. It's innocently happening by itself. No one to blame or what's the opposite.
Can I just speak to that?
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, thank you so much. Eri, is that correct? Yeah. And I don't know, I sort of feel I'm not where most people are in this group, so I'm still really, yeah. But this whole, how easy it is, and I do recognize it, how easy it is to fall into fair, unfair. It's almost a moral, assuming a morality to something, value, judgment, and and just seeing all the suffering that goes on, whether it's personally or globally or whatever, and realizing things are all unfolding. It isn't about fair and unfair and, necessarily any of those things. It just has, and I know I'm kind of trying to view it from a certain way. I mean, I can't help it, but it is things I sit in or reflect in, that things are just, there seems to be no reason. Just is. And I want to put a reason to, I recognize that when I get caught in really striving and, seeking, and then the effort of seeking and the fairness or the lack of fairness, there are all those things that get caught, that I just sort of look at a larger thing, and I just realize that there's no thing, there's no something doing something. This is unfolding somehow. And I don't understand, there's no understanding of it. Anyway, I don't know what, I'm just trying to unravel some of the things that come up for me a little bit. And so I might want to comment if that was just something that you had said, just sort of brought that up, because it has been, things have been coming up a little bit, so. I externally process, so it's really hard for me not to, it unfolds as I sort of, whatever,
Yeah.
speaks.
Yeah,
That's
beautiful.
it's my process, and so not everybody is the same, and all of a
No.
sudden I sort of see, that's how it is, so.
Yeah.
I'm not the quiet type.
Yeah, no, it's the
And
adventure
I'm,
is unique for each one, and that's
yeah,
why this one is so comical that others expect you or them to see it the same way. So there's, right, this constant, seemingly, appearance of bickering, arguing over words, and that's just this. Apparently, whatever's apparently appearing, it can only ever be this.
yeah, it can only ever be this, anything, yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah.
So only ever this is just, okay, what's already here, it's already in progress. But I mean, the ruthlessness, this word ruthless, it's ruthless because it doesn't respect the story. It doesn't respect my story. It's not interested in my story. It doesn't accommodate to me. It's not involved with my story. This is this, it's happening as it is. And that's the compassion also, because it's not compassionate to respect a story. The story is an illusion. It's the illusion. It's not needed. This is this, and somehow, yeah, I don't know. The ruthlessness is just, not supporting the story. Yeah. And with Janet, I mean, I can really feel, we can all feel, I think there's a struggle to understand, to really get this and really, and that's exactly what the story is. The story is there's something to understand here, and I'm involved. I'm going to do it. I need to do it. I have to do it. And that's just not happening. Yeah, anyway, it's already everything that the story is trying to get to is just already what is.
Sometimes I feel as though, and I can never find a perfect analogy. I'm pretty good with analogies in the relative world. You know, I'll be describing something, I'll use an analogy for someone, but this stuff I can't. There's nothing I can use, and so my words are short. Like they don't, you know. It. Sometimes I have the experience of some people can appreciate fine music, like a symphony, and just have this, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, it's like, oh. And then some people, it's like, I can hear them, I can hear it, I can even kind of get that, but it's like, you don't get it, you know? And then one day something hits you and go, whoa, that I got, and now I understand. So I feel like I'm always on the peripheral of, like, it's like, I feel like bull in a china shop, you know. I don't, that's not even the right word. I just feel like I'm always on the periphery of, like, I sense and I feel it. It's like, it's so, it seems so obvious, and yet I can't, it's like, I can't feel it, or I can't recognize it in a more visceral way. And I know there's other things in life where I've done that, where I kind of get it, and all of a sudden I get it. And it just sort of drops in. And that's what I feel like that's what's going on. It's like, I get it, but it's not dropping.
So,
I can't,
Janet,
you know, it's like, I can't do anything. And I know I can't, no, I'm screwed. You know, it's a merciless, whatever. And even being screwed is it. And I can't even get it. Like,
yes.
I can't even get it, you know,
Yes.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah, that's the ruthless part.
Yeah, it sure is. I can say that. Yeah, thanks for, yeah, it's that, it's a very unique feeling of, yeah. And that's it too, I guess. And wow. Okay, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Thanks.
So the story is also this. So there's nothing ruthless. There's nothing ruthless. The story is this, it's all this. So there's nothing ruthless. That's an add-on. That's a story, which is also this. So there's only this. And if you're searching for it and frustrated over it and not getting it, that is this. That's not ruthless. I would say that's love, just to put a different word on it, or it's just what is.
Ruthless love.
What, Rigo?
Ruthless love.
There you go, Don. How does that grab you?
It's better. I like it. I like it.
I kind of like it too, actually. The truth.
Or unconditional love too. It's everything. It's not personal love or what the person would assume it to be, as it seems to know, or to the concepts. What's spoken about here is not the concept. So, but all words are concepts, but they are just empty, meaningless pointers to something that's nothing. So yeah. So yeah, it doesn't matter the words. Ruthless love, I don't know, unconditional potato, pizza, muffin, everything is this.
Have mercy on me. Just, it's like,
Nothing have a meaning. It's,
oh, sorry.
Or, yeah.
Or everything has meaning. Nothing has nothing has meaning as a story.
When there is no separation, then where is the meaning? Where is the knowing? The me.
We wouldn't know.
No one knows.
The individual wouldn't know where the meaning is, but that doesn't mean there's no meaning.
That I'm talking from this point that there is no separation, so how there can be meaning? Me is a meaning. Me needs to have a meaning. Without the meaning, there is no point in me. So me is seeing everywhere meanings. Everything have to have a meaning. Without the meaning, what's left?
There's no.
I have to have a meaning. Coming from
Yeah,
the
meaning is the
separation.
glue. Meaning is the glue for the story.
Yeah, meaning and purpose when there isn't any. It's just simply is.
Well-
And no one knows that.
But we can't conceive of a meaning because we're linking meaning with me. So we're defining meaning, that it has to be me to find the meaning. And therefore we say there's no meaning because there's no me. But that doesn't mean there's no meaning. It's just we can't understand the meaning. Because from what I'm understanding, we can't understand any of this stuff. We can't understand what is. So to say that what is has no meaning is putting a story on what is, which is also what is. So that would be fine. But we can't say this thing we're talking about is so beautiful because we can talk about it apparently, but we can't say what it is, and we can't say what it's not. So who knows what it is? Maybe it's nothing, ruthless, compassion, whatever, or maybe it's God on the other end. Who knows?
Yeah, it's nameless. It's nothing appearing as everything and try to name everything. Impossible.
And everything and no thing are not two things.
Not even one.
So it's only ruthless to this energy that wants to claim a meaning and wants to hold on to this meaning. I am me and I mean something. Yeah, okay, this is ruthless to that. Doesn't respect that, doesn't support that at all.
Well, it is that though. So you say he doesn't respect that, doesn't know that. How can it not? It is it. It already is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at some point it becomes a language game, you know, you just play with the language and spin around. But
Yeah, it's like this is undefinable and we're trying to define it. And it's the finger pointing at the moon. Stop looking at the finger and you know, breaking it down and describing the finger, because just see the moon, period.
You know what?
And you don't know words and you know, once you take the rowboat to the other shore, get off of it, leave it alone, be there, and all this word stuff and what it means and what it doesn't mean, and this is a better word. It's see it, feel it, but don't define it. That's missing the mark.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, Jill. And even trying to define it and arguing about which word is correct, all of that is is just simply this already.
Yeah, that's it too. That's it too. But see it, feel it. It's alive. It's not empty words. Words are words, and they're dead. They're empty. That's it too, yes, but something here's alive and it's doing all this. It's animating all of us, and all the words are coming out of it. But feel it. That's what I've experienced. It's an experience. It's a feeling. It's not a definition. It's not a conceptualization and breaking it down and hammering it out. It's not that.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be explained. Often there is a tendency to try to explain it, and I think we covered it abundantly that it's not explainable. And I was shown that logic doesn't apply, which is a particular challenge for me, because I apply a lot of logic and I fall short.
Yeah, it's not linear. It's not logical. And it's not graspable. There's nothing to grasp. Certainly not with words.
Yeah, already everywhere means already, it's already everything. So before, I mean, it's already whatever your next thought is going to be, it is already this. So it's literally everything and everywhere. So that's the no escape part. But it's also nowhere because it can never be found. You can never capture it. You can never, as we're saying here tonight, never define it. So it's nowhere, and yet it's everywhere simultaneously. That can't be known.
I love these moments when there is no need to try to get something done or to figure something out, or it's a lovely feeling. It's very relaxing and pleasant. Oops, my camera is off. There we go.
I agree, Peter. And when you're doing it, there's nobody doing it. That's even better.
And there is no not doing it. Not doing it is a story.
Mhm.
Believed by who? There's no who.
Yeah, the word that seems to be coming up here this evening is causeless. Everything is causeless. And for me, everything is cause and effect. If I do this, I get this. If I don't do this, I don't get that.
I appreciate how you always come up periodically with some words that kind of carry the energy for a while. And you know, I know with all the criticism about words or opinions about words, it has been fascinating for me. Certain words attain some energy, and actually, Jill, that the words can kind of induce the feeling, you know. They're like an anchor, can be a feeling associated with the word. It's not the same. The word is not the feeling, but you know, I appreciate it.
They're pointers. The words are pointers. They're carrier waves. They're Trojan horses. They're pointers. But the word itself is not. But they point to something that we're trying to see here, I think.
The map is not the territory.
Is
The
there,
menu
is
is not the meal.
I was going to ask you, Jill, what are we pointing to?
The ineffable. It can't be said, but it can be felt. It's this aliveness, I think, this energy, this raw being. I don't, you know, I can't describe it, but it's indescribable. It's ineffable. You can't, but you can feel it being, you know, this. I think what it's not is the narrative. You know, it's me trying. It's what's doing all that. What's causing that?
It's causeless.
Yeah.
Michael just introduced it.
I love your question, Michael. What are we pointing to? That to me is like, whoa, Grace, thank you.
Yeah, the pointer that points to itself, what is it pointing to?
Right, and you know, to point to something, we need a thing, and we kind of established that it isn't a thing.
Which is simultaneously everything,
Mm-hmm.
but can't be pinpointed, can't be talked about. And yet talking about it is it too. No one's doing it. As trying to understand this as, I don't know what is energy, but when saying that everything is energy, all words are energy too, although they are empty, meaningless in that sense. But some words can resonate, and it's not about the concept, it's about energy. No understanding needed. Nothing's needed for this, what it is already. And no words can bring you closer to it. And at the same time, all words or confusion or trying to understand, no one's doing it, is already it. Totally effortlessly, even if it feels like there is effort. It's effortless effort.
The idea of closer or further is also interesting to observe, because it's here and everywhere. So there is nobody that can be closer to anything. There's no distance.
Yeah.
We can't point to it, but we can point what it's not. because nobody knows what it is.
How good, that's great. How could you point then to what it is not if it's everything?
We can talk about only what it's not, and simultaneously it's everything.
There is nothing that it's not. If it's everything, there's nothing that it's not. Here comes the logic again, sorry.
Words.
Yeah, Don, week after week, you keep like coming up with different ways to express this beautiful question. But this church is, there's no answer to it. This is a paradox. How could there be all these different things when there's just this, when there's not different, there's no separation? How could it seem like it's separate, and how could we have all these questions? There's no answer to that. There just isn't.
I have a lot of thoughts in my head right now I want to share.
Go, Nina.
Yeah, all the questioning is just this, although it's like it's trying to find this through the question. So it's part of the seeking energy again. And it's not going to find an answer because the me is the resistance to this. So when I look into each of your faces, I'm reminded of, of all the forgiveness that I've actually worked on, like over my whole life, like to forgive all my judgments of people. And I can hear those judgments in my mind, and I've condemned them because they might not be so nice. So my job is just to, I know it's not me, there's no me, but there's a interest, a desire to look upon these condemning judgments and forgive them because they don't belong to anyone. And it's just a me story. And the me story is your story. And there's only one story. The story of loss, lack, fear, and blaming and judging. It's all the same. So we're all here together for one reason, because we want to forgive the story in everyone, which nobody's here, but it's the one story of the me, which includes the you. And there's always going to be judgment, but it's just a remembering and a recognizing that the judgments are not to be condemned. They're just to be noticed and released, because we're all innocent. It's just innocence here. We don't have to figure anything out. We just to be here together and knowing that we don't have to do anything or prove anything. We're worthy already. Worthiness is worthy.
Judgment is this too.
And that's what's that?
Judgment is this too. There's nothing wrong with the judgment.
Right. So it's
Same
to forgive the judgments. Yeah. To
And
look
who
upon
could-
them and without judgment.
There is nothing to forgive.
True.
And no one to forgive.
True.
But forgiving may happen, may not
Mhm.
happen. No one's doing it.
Is there any place for, and I don't know, I'm really asking this as a question, recognition of whether it's like judgment or Jill, I love your Trojan horse thing when you know, it's the Trojan horse, like the language or the story or whatever, it's the Trojan horse. And is there any room for like the simultaneous recognition of like, it's a story and what an amazing story, and it's empty. It's not, it's this and it's not this, like just, you know, can't it be both, you know, because it's all supposed to be this. And there's something, maybe it's my logic too, there's something sort of magnificent about that amazingness, that there is story, that there is, that it shows up like that and like this, and yet it is empty, you know, it's, I don't know if there's any place for any of that, but that's what comes up when I listen to the back and forth of, you know, right? It seems to be all of it, both of it. I don't.
You just created the space for it.
Seems like there's a space for everything. Space and a place in nowhere.
Good evening, Nkosi. Welcome.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Hi,
Kosi.
Nkosi.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You can't get rid of the story. The story is this too. Every word is a story. There is no, I don't know, right story or wrong story. This story is better. This story is worse. I get to read of these stories. Every word is a story, so it doesn't matter which story is playing out. Every story is empty. In the story here, it was felt like it's my story. It's my thought. But when this collapsed, apparently, this separation, then it was seen that every story is empty. Like thoughts. Or feelings, or reactions. Even arguing about certain kind of words is so empty. So the story isn't the bad guy, story is this too.
There's no escape.
No escape. And that's the freedom, some sick way. No escape.
Yeah.
For no one.
And Kosi, could you talk about empty fullness?
Well, there's just everything, which is already nothing. So this can never really be known. It can never really be understood because there's no separation. So everything that is being said is already empty. Every sensation, every thought, every thinking is already empty. There is nobody behind it. So everything that is being spoken right now is empty. So there's nobody to do anything. There's nobody to know anything. There's really nothing to be done. It seems to be empty and full at the same time. Because empty and fullness is already this. So there's really nothing to get. There's really nothing to get. There's really nothing to know. There's really nowhere to get to. So everything is this. Everything is this. No matter what shape or form it may appear to be, it's already what is. It's already just this. It seems to be nothing, yet it's already everything. And it can never really be described. It can never really be known. It can never really be understood because it's everything. So it's empty and full at the same time. And here, there's nobody who has great knowledge, who knows about anything. There's just nothing. There's just talking happening. Or I would say a response happening. But there's nobody who's responding to anybody. There's just simply what's happening. So this is already boundless. This is already empty. This is already spacious. The doer of things can be seen as just this boundless energy appearing as a doer. There is no real separate doer who can do anything, who can know anything, who can become anything. And these words which are spoken right now, they are not being spoken by anybody. There's just words arising. And at times, they may seem never to arise. So it doesn't really matter because this is already wordless. This doesn't require any word to be spoken for it to be what it is. And when words are spoken, it's just the totality already this appearing as words. So all is this. No matter what shape or form it may appear to be, it's just this. And there's nobody to find anything. There's nobody to get anything. There's nobody already to become anything. There's just this. So I would say this is beautiful for nobody. This is inescapable. This is unreachable. Because it's already everything or nothing. So this is already empty and this is full. And nothing matters to this. Yet in the story, it may seem to matter. Even what seems to be the story is already this appearing as a story. So everything is already nothing. And there's nobody to point to anything. What seems to be the one pointing, the pointing itself and what is being pointed at is already this. So there's already nobody who's pointing, there's no pointing, and there's nothing that is being pointed at. There's just this. Yeah, that's what's coming up.
Beautiful. Any last comments or questions before we close out this evening? Peter, you're muted.
I just said, I causelessly enjoy.
You causelessly enjoyed. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everybody, to each and every one of you. We love and appreciate everyone. Thank you, Ere and Rigo, for dropping by, and Nkosi, everybody.
Everyone.
You.
Bye, bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.